Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I think I want to commentate on Descendants of Zombies for the rest of my life, if that's alright with you guys, and I can be your voice of Descendants of Zombies for just a little while longer, because we've got a lot to be excited about in summer 2026. We've got the premiere of Descendants 5, Book of Wonderland coming up, and we've got Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour happening. While it has yet to be confirmed, I'm really excited about everything happening for Descendants of Zombies for the foreseeable future, and I would just love to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies for just a little while longer if you would do me the honor. Because I feel as if a lot of people are not providing you with great commentaries on Descendants of Zombies as they should be. They're just uploading reaction videos that really make no sense to anybody who ever said they were a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and that's pretty much all you're finding when you're searching up Descendants of Zombies videos every night on YouTube. I know how it goes, because I've been on YouTube for a very long time, and over the years I've seen YouTube make so many different changes, the way they present their content, the way you can stream, the way you can go live, and I think that people need to really take full advantage of that when they're uploading Descendants of Zombies videos, because I think that a lot of people out there really know a lot about Descendants of Zombies, and they know more about Descendants of Zombies than they're ever given credit for. And what I'm referring to are the fans of Descendants of Zombies, because they are some of the smartest fans in the world. And that's what a lot of these journalists on YouTube don't really take into consideration, is that a fan of Descendants of Zombies knows everything there is to know about their favorite stars, about the franchises, because it's been a part of their life for forever. Because for a Descendants of Zombies fan, Descendants of Zombies pretty much is a way of life now. It's Descendants of Zombies or die. From the very first moment that we saw Descendants of Zombies premiere, we knew it was going to be something special. We knew we had everything to look forward to for Descendants of Zombies for the foreseeable future, and we have held on and been there for every unforgettable moment, everything that there was to be cherished about Descendants of Zombies, and so much conversation has happened about Descendants of Zombies, especially for the foreseeable future, because I honestly believe that nobody ever wants to see this end. While critics will suggest that we're coming to the conclusion of Descendants of Zombies and it's reaching its end, I refuse to believe that, and I will forever and always support people like Freya Sky and Kylie Cantrell, who I believe are some of the strongest people and individuals in the world, because nobody should ever have to go through what people like Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky have been subject to off of the profound success that we have seen Zombies and Descendants achieve. Because this is what I wanted. I am incredibly happy for Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky, because this is what I wanted for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. I wanted anything and everything to happen for them because they deserved it. They deserved anything but criticism. When people like Kylie Cantrell won't YouTube themselves anymore, they won't watch themselves on TikTok anymore because they're afraid of what they're going to watch, or they know what they're going to watch because it's just criticism, and they say it's constructive criticism, but I refuse to believe that any type of criticism is any criticism that anybody wants anything to have to do with. The thing is, Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky have given us so much as entertainers, and we have given them so much back as fans, and I think that the more love and support that we show them, the stronger they're going to get, and the more opportunities they're going to receive. Because Disney has really given them a chance, and they've taken full advantage of that. Every single opportunity, every single chance that Descendants of Zombies has provided us with as fans, we've enjoyed, and they have really taken full advantage of it, because they've really brought this franchise to life in the way that no other star who's ever been a part of the franchise has ever been able to do it before. As much as I miss people like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, and I've missed them for forever, I've missed them for what feels like an eternity, I think that as fans of the franchises, the times have changed. So we as fans of the franchise have to also change with the times. But I think that the way that the Descendants franchise has really evolved into something so spectacular was really meant to happen for the franchise. I think people like Kylie Cantrell, Ruby Rose Turner, Malia Baker were meant to show up and take over in the way that they did, because they inspired millions of people, and far more incredible reach has been seen for Descendants of Zombies as a universe as a whole. And I think this is going to secure their legacies for the foreseeable future. You see, I say this because one of my greatest fears of being a journalist was fading off into obscurity and always and forever being forgotten. But I never ever wanted to see that happen for anybody just because I feared of it. So what I wanted to do my entire career, what I put 25 years behind, is trying to secure the legacies of your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars, because I know how much it means to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I know how it feels to be excited at the premiere of Descendants, the premiere of Zombies, and to hear all this conversation about what people think are going to predict to happen. It's really fun reading predictions that people make about franchises such as Descendants and Zombies, because they love it so much and they never want to see it end. I would venture to say every morning on the way to school, you're walking to school, you're taking the school bus to school, there's a conversation happening somewhere, somehow, about Descendants and Zombies and what people predict is going to happen. Hey, did you catch the premiere of Descendants 3 last night? Did you see what happened? Did you catch the premiere of The Rise of Red just last month? It was incredible. I venture to say that there is a person out there who's a friend with somebody today because of Descendants and Zombies. Now, I would venture to say that a beautiful friendship was born because of Descendants and Zombies. And that's what's so miraculous about Descendants and Zombies, is that some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have happened because of what Descendants and Zombies have taught us. Because so many people are stronger now because of Descendants and Zombies. So many people believe in themselves. So many people have withstood confidence within the back of their minds, because they know that in order for a dream to happen, they have to set a goal, and they have to set out to achieve that goal, no matter what obstacles stand in your way. And I want everybody to remember that whatever dream you have, it can and it will happen for you, regardless of what that dream is. I've never cared what the dream is that you have. It could be joining the cheerleading squad. It could be joining the swim team. It could be being a part of the Descendants cast. I'll even go as far as that. Whatever your dream is, just set out a goal and just make sure that you do whatever you have to do to achieve it. Because when you finally realize that this happened for you, there is no greater honor. Just as there is no greater honor for me being your voice of Descendants and Zombies for what feels like forever. I say this because I was providing commentary on a lot of different niches over the years that weren't really making a whole lot of sense to me, and I wasn't really making a whole lot of sense to them. And then all of a sudden I discovered the power that exists behind Descendants and Zombies. How a dream can happen for anybody. How one can find true love and forever even have the slightest chance of existing. Because I really do believe that we do believe that forever does exist, even though we don't admit to it on times. And I do really believe that people wish they had time to go back in time to fix some mistakes they have made, some mistakes they may regret, tell more people that they love them. I know for a fact that if I was in possession of a pocket watch, I would go back in time to meet all of you all over again, because it was the greatest honor of my life. Because my career wasn't really going the way that I wanted it to go, and you guys really turned it around when I least expected it. Because now, after being on YouTube for forever, I finally have a niche that I'm incredibly supportive of, and I never ever want to quit on, which is why this YouTube channel has something uploaded every single night for somebody who loves Descendants and Zombies. Because like I said, I know how it goes. You're always uploading Descendants and Zombies videos on YouTube that really make no sense to a whole lot of people, and you're always finding the same 4 or 5 videos that really make no sense to a whole lot of people. I will forever and always love the original cast of Descendants. I will always and forever appreciate what Dove Cameron offered to the franchise. What upsets me about the original cast of Descendants is how they just said goodbye, and nothing was ever done by them for the franchise in the future. Nothing was ever done to secure the future of the stars of the present for Descendants and Zombies by them. The most recent thing that I saw Descendants star do of the past was when Sophia Carson reflected on the 10-year anniversary of Descendants, and nobody else even came in to comment on how much Descendants had meant to their careers. Really, Descendants was a catapult for people like Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron, because it gave them the opportunity to really showcase their talents and really go on to achieve more. And I think that's what the stars of the past realized about Descendants, was how Descendants really offered them the opportunity to explode in ways that they never thought imaginable. But now I think Descendants has really become a way of life and a passion for people, because I think Kylie Cantrell has really developed a passion for acting, has really developed a passion for singing, and everything that she does. She touches the heart of everybody in everything that she does in every imaginable way, because she wants to go down in history for being a true inspiration. And I just want to say for the record that if I could predict that there was going to be another Miley Cyrus of this new generation, it would have to be somebody the caliber of Kylie Cantrell, because of how she sings, how she's so full of life, how she's so exuberant. Kylie Cantrell exemplifies so many qualities of a person that everybody would dream of being. And she really puts it out there that she's living a lifestyle that, everybody would give anything to experience. But I think that there's a lot of pressure that goes with being somebody like Kylie Cantrell, because you're always having to live up to, I guess, a mirror image. What you see in the mirror is what you have to live up to for the Disney company to really, follow through with everything they promised you, because Disney expects you to be a whole lot older than what you are at a certain age. And I think there's a lot of pressure that goes with that. So I can only imagine what kind of pressure Kylie Cantrell must be under when she's subjected to so much criticism from everybody on YouTube about her music videos, her image, her character in Descendants, because I do know that Red received a lot of criticism. More criticism than what Dove Cameron ever received as the character Mal, because the underlying issue was nobody ever wanted to say goodbye to this cast. Nobody ever wanted to accept that the times were changing and we as fans had to change with the times. But even though we had to change with the times, I think gradually more people, began to fall more in love with the new Descendants cast, because people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker and Ruby Rose Turner forever and always showed up. Which is why it really breaks my heart that Ruby is no longer going to be a part of the Descendants franchise. When the announcement first was made that Ruby was parting ways with the franchise, my heart was broken. Because I really thought Ruby's time with the Descendants franchise was very short-lived. And I thought that she had more to offer to the franchise as a character, because a lot of people were making predictions early on what was going to happen with the Bridget character, myself included. I was really looking forward to seeing a transformation of Bridget's character. I was really looking forward to seeing Bridget evolve into something far greater, because that's what every Descendants character eventually wants to aspire to be, is something far greater than what people set them out to be in the movie from beginning to end. And eventually, every Descendants character who has become revered eventually finds their place in the world and finds their place in society, and that's something that I really love about Descendants, is how much encouragement it instills in the minds of everybody who ever was a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Because, so many people came away from the Worlds Collide tour, the 43 arena dates, feeling so inspired from the performances. They felt as if they were a part of something special. And that's why I forever and always believe that being a fan of Descendants and Zombies will do you a great benefit, because in all honesty, you will learn more from Descendants and Zombies than perhaps we've learned from any franchise that Disney has promoted over the last at least 15 years. High School Musical and Hannah Montana, all they ever did was promote the fact that a dream could happen for anybody at any given moment. But did they encourage you that a dream could happen for you as much as what Descendants and Zombies has? That's debatable. That really is debatable, because you take the music and the performance level out of Hannah Montana, and you don't really have that much of a storyboard to follow on. You take the music out of Wizards of Waverly Place and High School Musical, you don't really have that much of a storyboard to fall back on. So I think that Descendants, if you take the music out of Descendants, probably you would have a lot of fans disappointed, but you would still have a compelling story, which would, get Descendants over any way possible. So I think that Descendants and Zombies is definitely well on its way to becoming one of the greatest and one of the most revered franchises of all time, because the numbers definitely say a lot about Descendants and Zombies when you have 781 million hours of stream time on Disney Plus and 250 million hours of stream time with Zombies coming right behind it. It is really incredible how Zombies maintains the number one position right now on Disney Plus for the most streamed movie for anything having to do with Disney on Disney Plus. It's incredible. The overwhelming response that Zombies has received. A story about how a girl fell in love with a zombie, achieving acceptance in a world where she never thought she would be accepted. Because these movies have really revolved around acceptance, really making more out of your dreams than you ever thought possible. And I think more people are drawing inspiration from that now, because more people are achieving their dreams. They're setting goals, and they're achieving dreams, because that's what school teaches you. They teach you how to set a goal, and they teach you how to achieve your dream no matter what obstacles are in front of you. And that's why I forever and always believe that Descendants and Zombies are two franchises that have made people stronger. They're not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. They're speaking their minds. It's such an amazing experience when you actually witness this happening to people, because I've witnessed it with my own two eyes, how people have become the best of friends, and years later are still the best of friends because of Descendants and Zombies. And as I just said, I would venture to say that our beautiful friendship started today over a conversation about if they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies, their favorite moments from the franchises, what they took away from the franchise, what they loved so much about the franchise, And tomorrow, that conversation will pick up right where it left off. That is the most beautiful thing about Descendants of Zombies. You know, in all my years of watching Disney Channel, I have never seen a franchise captivate so many people from all walks of life, no matter what the circumstances. And I have had some of the most beautiful people in the world subscribe to this YouTube channel because of how overwhelming supportive they've been of these videos. This was a channel that was started by a guy who just shoots videos out of his office, and this channel has exploded in popularity and become one of the most revered Descendants and Zombies YouTube channels in the world right now. And I have never felt more honored to be in your guys' presence talking about Descendants and Zombies for the true value that exists behind Descendants and Zombies. And I'm not talking about the dolls, I'm not talking about the outfits, I'm not talking about concert tickets, I'm talking about just the franchise in general. Because you don't have to attend the Worlds Collide Tour to feel as if you were part of it. And that's why we have YouTube. You don't have to have all the Descendants and Zombies merch that you can possibly get your hands on to be the biggest fan of Descendants and Zombies. You just have to say you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies and tell everybody why. That's what I did, because I wanted to do it with an open heart and an open mind. I didn't want to show up on YouTube with pre-written statements, 15 sheets of paper, and read off the pieces of paper word for word. Because I really believe that telling everybody you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies and telling everybody why you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies to back up your claim with an open heart and an open mind is the most effective way of doing it. Because a lot of people will just do reaction videos about the music video for, say, Dream Come True or Rotten to the Core from years past. And then everybody will subscribe to their channel because ultimately they will believe what the critic is saying about it. Because I think there is far too much criticism about Descendants of Zombies. Now, while I can be criticized for believing there's way too much criticism about Descendants of Zombies, you just think about it. From the first moment that Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires premiered months ago, people were uploading reaction videos about the Place to Be music video. And in the Place to Be music video, Nova shows up from out of nowhere explaining to Zed what Daywalkers and Nightwalkers were. And then from out of nowhere, Nova starts doing these karate moves. Nobody ever commented on how talented she was and how much training she had to undergo doing the karate moves. All they ever talked about was what was a Daywalker, what was a Nightwalker. Everybody noticed the obvious. Nobody ever notices the talent or the collaboration of the music video. The purpose of the music video was to introduce us to these new characters that we had never seen before in the Zombies franchise. So because they didn't know what the Daywalkers and Nightwalkers were, the only thing they could resort to was criticism. I believe that if you're going to show up to talk about Descendants of Zombies, more especially Zombies, with all the criticism it's received in the light of the criticism, is say something nice about it, to encourage people, give them a reason to subscribe to your YouTube channel, rather than turn away from you because you don't know the first thing about Descendants of Zombies. Nobody ever comments on how talented of a gymnast Meg Donnelly is, or how talented of a gymnast Rhea Skye is. They always talk about how they don't understand what a Daywalker and a Nightwalker is. It's pretty obvious what a Daywalker and a Nightwalker is. A Daywalker is a vampire that can exist in the daytime. A Nightwalker is a vampire, as always, who can exist in the nighttime. It's a pretty obvious plot because of the age demographic this appeals to. But I think that using the age demographic as a reason to explain why this is happening or that's happening is just pretty much an excuse, because I think there is no specific age demographic that this is targeting, because I've seen people as high as 25 years old watching Descendants of Zombies, myself included. I was about 25 years old when I watched Zombies for the first time, and that wasn't yesterday, but I do remember how much of an impact Descendants of Zombies had on my heart. And that's why I've been talking about Descendants of Zombies forever and always ever since. Because I think you can never say enough good things about Descendants of Zombies. And if you're going to say anything at all about Descendants of Zombies, you should go out of your way to say something nice about the franchise. Because these franchises are not going away for a very long time. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. So if we're going to say anything about them, we should say nice things about them. There was more I took away from Descendants of Zombies to review than there was in a negative vibe. Because too many people... It really frustrated me how too many people were criticizing Kylie Cantrell, were criticizing Rhea Skye. Here's the thing about Rhea Skye. Rhea Skye is only 15. Kylie Cantrell is only 20. There's 5 years separating the two of them. And they've still got a long way to go. That's what makes this so intriguing. That's what makes this so exciting. So we can choose as fans to criticize them, or we can choose as fans to support them and ride the train here on out. And I look forward to riding the train here on out to the land of unprecedented success for Kylie Cantrell and Rhea Skye, because what they have yet to amount to is something that is going to be beyond spectacular, and I'm just incredibly excited to be a part of it and be here for this incredible journey. Because what we saw at the Worlds Collide Tour was a mere scratching of the surface of what they have yet to become. Performing in front of thousands of fans every single night, I give them a profound amount of credit for. Because I know I wouldn't be able to do it. It looks like quite fun, but I know I wouldn't be able to do it because of the pressure. And I'm sure you wouldn't be able to do it because of the pressure. But I think that a profound amount of credit, having said that, is deserving of Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky when you're in a different venue every single night. You have no idea where you are. You go out and you perform the same songs, the same dance numbers, night after night, and you're never given enough credit. My heart goes out to everybody who was a part of the Worlds Collide Tour, the fans who made it such a blast, who had the time of their life there, because the best support came from the fans. Not so much the critics, because they just showed up with the sole purpose of reviewing it in a negative way. I've seen so many reviews of the Worlds Collide Tour, it's really upset me because people just sit in front of their microphone and they say this about the tour, they say that about the tour, and nothing ever really makes sense because they're upset about the merchandise. You're telling me the best that you have to criticize is the merchandise. The reason why the best you have to criticize is the merchandise and the quality of it is because everything else about the Worlds Collide Tour was amazing, was so incredible. You just don't want to admit to that. You'd rather criticize it because you think criticism is cool and constructive criticism is the way to go. Whatever form of criticism you're trying to give to the Descendants and Zombies fans, they're smarter than what you're giving them credit for because no criticism is any good. And that's what I wanted to take away from fans of Descendants and Zombies and replace that with a really good vibe. With a vibe that you know there's going to be a leg 2 with the Worlds Collide Tour. You're more confident than ever that we will see a Zombies 5, that we will get to Descendants 5 with a Wonderland without criticism. But we can expect criticism regardless of how we choose to look at it. As sure as the sun is setting behind me here, there is going to be a lot of criticism for Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, but I give you my word that this YouTube channel will forever and always be here to help you make sense of everything Descendants and Zombies. So too will it be tomorrow morning, the day after that, and the day after that. Because I really do love talking about Descendants and Zombies. I love talking about how much further this story can go. Because this story, the reality of it is, this story has so much more left to be told, so many unwritten chapters left to explore. Red still has to find her place in the world along with Chloe Charming. She has to find her place in the world, and I'm incredibly excited to witness this. I'm incredibly excited to see a story of Descendants and Zombies unfold that has yet to be told. Stories about mermaids, stories about pirates, stories about witches, stories about everything having to do with supernatural. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a huge fan of supernatural TV shows like The Vampire Diaries, Supernatural, True Blood. I can go on and on and on. Vampire Diaries appeared in 2010, in the fall of 2010. I was so excited about it. I must have watched every single episode of The Vampire Diaries, so my heart will forever and always be with Freya Sky and how she feels about those franchises of our past. Because without those franchises of our past, we would not be here. Things like Descendants and Zombies would not be happening because that's where they drew their inspiration from. Vampire Diaries, Twilight, what have you. I know how Freya Sky feels. I know how all the stars of Descendants feel, probably better than they know about themselves. And it's such an honor to be here to talk about Descendants and Zombies because I will forever and always believe that these two franchises deserve a 5-star scale perspective rating regardless of what anybody else out there may think. Because people on YouTube are just showing up saying they're fans of Descendants and Zombies, but they're not backing up their claims. And while I may not have, impressive backdrops of Descendants merch and posters, like many people have, and profess of being the biggest Descendants and Zombies fans in the world, I really do believe that support can never be shown enough and given enough to your favorite Descendants and Zombies stars, because when they are crying about how people feel about them in the way of constructive criticism on their YouTube channel, or at least what they allow to be constructive criticism, that's an issue. And we can do something about that as fans of Descendants and Zombies, because we don't have to take that. We can always fire back with opinions about Descendants and Zombies. We can always let the critics know that we're never ever going away, because the reality of it is Descendants and Zombies fans are the most supportive fans in the entire world. They know what's up. They know what they want to get the most of the franchises, and they never ever want to see this go away. They never ever want to see this end. And I fully support that. I fully support that notion. So that's why this YouTube channel will forever and always be here. To support things like the Worlds Collide Tour Leg 2. To support Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland. And say everything nice about it. Because I think never nice things are said about Descendants and Zombies. Because so many people are stronger now because of Descendants and Zombies. So many more people are fighting back. So many more people are standing up for what they believe in. And I love this so much, how passionate everybody is about Descendants and Zombies. I never saw such passion for Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers so many years ago, and that wasn't yesterday. So it's really amazing to see how far these two franchises have come and how revered they have actually amounted to being. That's incredible. And I know for certain that this is the greatest honor of my life, regardless of what the future has in store for me in this YouTube channel. I will never see a franchise have as much of a revered impact on my life as what Descendants and Zombies has. Will never ever forget what you guys did for me. You gave me a second chance at my career. You brought me back from out of nowhere, and Descendants and Zombies has forever and always stolen my heart. So we will talk again tomorrow morning about Descendants and Zombies. Until then, I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, saying stay safe out there tonight. And always know, forever and always, everything is going to be okay, just as sure as we're looking at the same moon tonight. Everything will be okay. I will help you make sense of everything Descendants and Zombies. This YouTube channel will forever and always be here for you guys, because I love Descendants and Zombies just as much as what you guys do. Stay calm and zombie on, everybody. We will talk again as early as tomorrow morning. Be kind to each other, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. This story is far from over.